My boyfriend got really jacked, and now I'm no longer attracted to him. We've been together almost 4 years. Recently, he has been getting really into fitness and weightlifting. Our cupboard is full of protein powders, and he has seriously gained a ton of muscle. He is significantly more cut than he was before. This is not to say he was out of shape before. We have both always been healthy, but the focus on weightlifting and muscle growth is new as of 6 months ago. I should clarify that when I say he has gotten into fitness, I do not mean the whole culture that can negatively come with it. He is not look-maxing or falling into red pill ideology or anything like that. He is still the extremely sweet, generous guy he has always been. The only personality change is around our meals, where he insists on weighing out his portions and cooking for himself. I can understand the intensity and dedication, as I used to dance semi-professionally but quit to focus on academics halfway through college. This is all to say, I still love him, but something about his new body turns me off. The best way I can describe it is this: in the Marvel movies? He used to be more like Loki, and now he is Thor. There is nothing against Thor, but I feel like there are a lot of girls like me who would agree that Loki is objectively more attractive. Our sex life has suffered. I do not think his stamina is better by any measurable degree, and the posturing and the visual of him shirtless gives me more images of stuffy Hollywood actors and fake online personalities than the sweet guy I know he is. General intimacy is also on the decline, as things like cuddling or just making out are not as comfortable for me anymore. How can I explain this to him? I'm sure he can feel me pulling away, and, by God, I do not want to hurt him. I am wondering what his reasoning for all of this is, other than simple self-improvement. I promise I still give him compliments and boost his self-esteem just as much as I used to, so if it is an insecurity thing, I am hoping it is not coming from me. All this is to say, I have no plans on breaking up, but I would like to be physically attracted to him again. Edit: I think people are misinterpreting what I am saying. We are both already muscular. I am talking about the new build on top of what was already there. I will not speak on steroid use, because if he is using anything, it is without my knowledge, and I have no oversight. Someone in my DMs mentioned something about a Twitter post from a few months ago by the artist Ali Murs, in which he changed dramatically to fit what a lot of men find more conventionally attractive, and people were shocked by women's preferences in the comments. This is exactly what I am talking about. I do not know if I can post links here, but he went from being a bit skinnier in the before picture to not as dramatic, but still aligned with the after look. Someone also mentioned a meme floating around a while ago using the Loki and Thor analogy. I do not remember seeing it, but perhaps I did and subconsciously saved it to use here. I do not see this new development as improving himself or necessarily being healthy. I do not think having the lowest body fat percentage possible is healthy. I also worry about his cardiovascular health, as the increase in mass makes your heart work harder and does not necessarily correlate with better health outcomes, especially if you neglect cardio out of fear that it limits your gains. Perhaps I have some dance-related experiences influencing this perspective, or perhaps I am interpreting the science incorrectly, but this is my current view. I am not sure if Reddit is just being Reddit here, but the general consensus over the last few hours is that I am a bad person and that I should dump him. That is not happening. I still love him deeply, and with all my heart. I am simply asking how to get over or address the newfound lack of physical and sexual attraction. And even then, it is not a drop from 100 to 0. My libido did not fall off a cliff. It is a preference, which I can overlook because of all the other good qualities he has. Forgive me for being defensive, but the number of assumptions people have made about our relationship is astounding. I am not insecure, either personally or in our relationship. He supported me when I was a stressed-out mess finishing my degrees, and I am supporting him as he finishes his, both emotionally and partially financially. Lastly, I had not considered this before, but I was tipped off about the possibility that he may propose right after graduation. Now, a part of me wonders if he is doing this to look as good as possible during those upcoming milestones. I do not know. I guess we will see. Final update. Hi. I do not really feel obligated to update, but I thought it might be important given the amount of attention my post received. Before doing so, I wanted to address everything systematically, so feel free to scroll down if you only want the update. My lack of desire does not come from the fact that his body has changed. It comes specifically from the type of ultra-fit physique his body has changed into. Upon reflection, I have realized that I simply do not find the bulging muscles, overly veiny, dehydrated, and shrink-wrapped look attractive. I still think I speak for a lot of women when I say this. That is all to say, it is a preference. I do not care what others find attractive. I am talking about myself and my relationship, which should only consist of two people's opinions. Speaking of opinions, I tried my best to read all the comments, and wow, people got passionate. Breaking up was never on the table, and the insistence that we do so was profoundly unhelpful. I will acknowledge that, upon reflection, I do have a bias towards certain body types, but so does almost everyone else. Mine partially stems from my background in the dance world, but the sentiment I have toward a super chiseled look is shared by a lot of women. I would even go so far as to say most. One of the things I did take away from my previous post is that I was not doing anything helpful by avoiding the conversation with him. Between our schedules and other complications, getting sick, last-minute travel, we finally had the chance, and I found the courage to talk about it about 2 weeks ago. We were at home joking around and chatting about various plans, as well as reflecting on our past. Some good advice I took from here was to phrase it along the lines of "I miss your old body," to which he did not react strongly, either positively or negatively. He simply showed me some affection, and we continued with our evening. This past weekend, we had an event to attend that was somewhat related to fitness. While we were there, I asked him whether he was doing this for himself or if there was something deeper behind it. We ended up having a more productive conversation, where we established that yes, he had noticed I had been pulling away sexually, but he had attributed it to general life changes and stress. He now knows that I am not as attracted to his current physique. Feelings were a bit bruised on both sides, but nothing we have not already worked through. He expressed a desire to spend more quality time together. This might mean cooking together again or even going to the gym together, as I usually attend the one provided by my workplace. If anyone has suggestions for how to increase time together without requiring too much energy, I am open to them. We also uncovered that, while he has been working out intensely for his own reasons, it is more of a stress response and a way of maintaining control than purely a desire to look a certain way. I should have mentioned earlier, but I chose not to at the time because it felt too personal to share online. He is in his final semester of a graduate degree in epidemiology, which is extremely demanding and stressful. On top of that, while actively searching for postgraduate employment, his father is in hospice care. That is actually how I got the sense that he might propose soon. He likely wants his father to see him engaged before he passes. Also, to address why I did not talk to him sooner, with our current schedules, we only see each other for a few hours in the evening, if we are lucky. It felt more important to preserve that time as peaceful and restorative rather than introduce something potentially difficult. So, all in all, he is aware. We had a mature and honest conversation, we identified the source of the tension, and we are planning to spend more time together, possibly by cooking or going out more. We still love each other, and it might be beneficial for him to consider seeing a therapist given everything he is dealing with. Overall, this is just a small bump in our relationship, not the catastrophic situation some people made it out to be. I'm choosing to look at it through the lens of, this too shall pass. There is a difference between being fit for health, which we both already were, and being extremely muscular for aesthetics. I do not see pushing for that kind of physique as an improvement. I do not find it particularly healthy, nor do I think it is sustainable. Jealousy and insecurity have nothing to do with my perspective. I simply do not believe that striving for an ultra-low body fat percentage should be considered self-improvement. Having a large amount of muscle mass does not directly correlate with strength, and the potential cardiovascular and hormonal risks do not seem worth it. While the discipline is admirable, I think we are in a strange place where some people view these extreme physiques as the peak of human performance, something both realistic and universally desirable. At a certain point, focusing excessively on body composition and maintaining strict dietary control can border on orthorexia. I was a dancer, so I am familiar with what disordered eating can look like. I can say with confidence that, in my opinion, along with being more attractive, my boyfriend was also healthier before all of this. I'm not going to show him this post, partly because of the possible proposal, but also because some of the responses here have been a bit harsh.